Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop New York season 10 episode 6. This season is going by really quickly because we're already on episode 6 and I feel like this season literally just started. But this episode starts with Sin and Jonathan's little meetup with Erica about her trying to get Joe and Tahiri back together. Now, Sin obviously has an issue with it because Erica is her ex-girlfriend and she feels like Erica should put herself in her shoes and see that, she shouldn't be trying to get them back together after her and Joe literally just broke up 2 months prior. Joe hasn't even admitted to cheating on Sin yet, and they haven't even got their co-parenting situation set up, and Erica is already trying to get Joe and Tahiri back together again. Now, she also has an issue with the fact that Erica is her ex-girlfriend and she's trying to get her other ex to get back together with his ex. It's definitely, it gets your tongue tied trying to say that. But I agree with Sin. I do think that it was wrong for Erica to try to do that because I honestly don't believe Erica, because Erica kept saying that she wasn't trying to hurt Sin by doing it, but I honestly believe that she was doing it to be petty because she didn't want to hurt Sin. Now, it did not go well at first. Erica was being very dismissive, and so I had thought that Sin had got up and left, but she really just stepped aside because she was talking on the phone to the person who was watching her son. Now, when she left, Jonathan was trying to break down Sin's situation to Erica so that she can understand where Sin is coming from, which I think Jonathan is a really good friend from what we see on TV. I don't know if he's really like that outside of television, but from the show, he seems like he's a really good friend, and he breaks it down to Erica about why she's upset, and Erica starts to realize that she was probably wrong for trying to get Joe and Tahiri back together so soon after Sin and Joe had just recently broke up. Now, Sin ends up coming back to the table, and Erica says that she wasn't trying to hurt Sin by trying to get Joe and Tahiri back together, which I already said. I don't believe it. I think that Erica was definitely doing it to be petty, out of spite for Sin, and that's the reason why I believe she was doing it. But Sin said that she doesn't even really care about Joe and Tahiri getting back together, which I don't believe her. I think she does care about Joe and Tahiri getting back together, but she claims that all she cares about is trying to get her co-parenting situation figured out with Joe, and that she doesn't care what Joe does outside of that. But if she doesn't care, then why is she even at this meeting with Erica? Now, Erica admits that she was wrong for it, and she puts herself in Sin's shoes, and the two of them end up giving each other a hug, which I think it was good that they hugged. I don't think they had real reasons to have issues with each other anyway. Now, Yandy ends up taking her kids out to have some fun because she feels like it's a good distraction for the kids. It takes their mind off of Mendices being gone. Now, Mendices ends up calling her while she's out with the children, and he lets her know that he should be getting a release date in a couple of weeks, and usually they let people out about 12 days after they get their paperwork sent out. So she's excited that he's going to be coming home, and he's nervous about how things are going to be when he comes home because they have a teenager in the house now, because Yandy not adopted, but she is a foster mother to a teenage girl, and she said that although it has been challenging, it has been a lot of fun raising this girl, and so Mendices has a lot to adjust to when he gets out of prison, and hopefully everything works out for the two of them. So Janaski has a photo shoot that Rich sets up for her since Janaski decided to work with Rich exclusively because she feels like Fresher wasn't doing his part, which he wasn't. He was more focused on his career rather than focusing on hers, and I didn't like that he put all the emphasis on her getting her body done when I don't feel like she needs to get her body done, and I don't feel like her getting her body done is going to elevate her career in any way, shape, or form, because her talent should be able to speak for itself, and if she wanted to get her body done, she could, but for him to be trying to pressure her to do that, I didn't think that was good. So she ended up going with Rich. Now, Rich ends up inviting one of the guys who he invited to Janaski's little showcase she had the other night, and his name is Tony, and he lets Janaski know that he did like her performance, but he didn't like the way that she was acting when she had got into it with Fresher's girlfriend, Jen, which I don't feel like they should be faulting Janaski for how she behaved when Jen was there, because Jen was coming at her real aggressively, and she wasn't even doing anything. It was Fresher that was holding her hands, and I feel like Jen, she gets angry at the women and she doesn't get angry at Fresher. And I don't understand that, because it's like, it's your dude that's doing you wrong. He's the one who has the commitment to you in your relationship, not her. So why are you always going at the woman and not going at Fresher? Now, Rich lets Janaski know that he actually invited Fresher to come to this photo shoot because he wants Janaski to tell Fresher that she is working with him exclusively and that Fresher is out of the picture. And Janaski definitely had a little bit of an issue with that because she felt like that was a conversation she needed to have with Fresher by herself, not with anyone else around. But Rich wants to let Fresher know that she chose him and he doesn't really want him around anymore. So Fresher ends up showing up and she tells him that she chose Rich, and Fresher is definitely annoyed about that because he felt like he could have elevated Janaski's career, although I don't know how he thought he was going to do that because he wasn't doing his part at all. And Janaski lets him know that, you were more worried about your own career. You were inviting me places to listen to you freestyle. You were inviting me places to dance back up for you like I'm one of your side hoes. And I don't know if he wanted her to be one and that's the reason why he acted that way, but I think it was good that she didn't choose him. But he also feels like it's an issue that she chose Rich because Rich has a bad reputation with mixing business with pleasure with the women that he's working with, which is definitely true. I don't think she should have chose either one of them, but she did, and he lets her know that she made her bed so she has to lay in it, and he leaves, and he's pissed off about it because now he has to tell Jen that he's not working with Janaski anymore. Safari's doing a photo shoot for the cover of his EP, and Tahiri ends up showing up to support, and Erica lets her know what happened when she met up with Sin and Jonathan to talk about her trying to get Tahiri and Joe back together and how Sin had an issue with it because her and Joe just broke up. They have a son together and they haven't even got their co-parenting situation figured out. Now, Tahiri was actually cool about the whole thing. She said that she's been in Sin's shoes before. Obviously, she's dated Joe before, so she knows exactly what it's like being with him, and so she said that she understands that Sin's upset about it and she doesn't want to be the bad guy in the situation. So I feel like she's going to step aside and she's not going to try to, flirt with Joe anymore, probably. Now, Erica lets them know that she wants to have a big bachelorette party, and Safari agrees that they should have a bachelor and bachelorette party under the same roof, but separately from one another. And they both agree, which I think it could actually be fun. I think that the way that they're doing it is good because then they don't have to worry about the other person doing something, shiesty behind their back because they're going to be under the same roof. I'm hoping that they end up having a good bachelor and bachelorette party. I think they're trying to compete with each other to see whose party comes out better. I honestly believe that Erica's party would be better than Safari's because I feel like she knows how to party more than he does. Fresher ends up meeting up with his girl Jen, and they are still having issues stemming from the situation that happened at Janaski's showcase when she showed up unannounced and she saw him holding Janaski's hand. I do feel like she blew that whole situation out of proportion because it really wasn't that serious, but I feel like he has to take responsibility for the fact that he's cheated on her multiple times before, that she doesn't trust him at all because of the fact that he's cheated, but she also needs to take responsibility for the fact that she shouldn't have stayed with him if he cheated on her multiple times before, and she wouldn't be going through what she's going through right now. So I feel like they both have issues and they both need to either figure it out and decide to get back together or end things and, co-parent because obviously they have children together. Now, he tells Jen that she needs to let him move back in the house because he's been staying with either his mom or his grandmother for so long that he feels like he needs to start paying rent there. I can't. She kicked him out the house, okay? And she has no interest in letting him back in that house. He tells her that him and Janaski are not even working together anymore. And now she feels like he's a whole clown because he got kicked out of his house because of Janaski and he's not even working with her, which no, you kicked him out because you was mad because he was holding hands with Janaski and you went there and act a fool. You weren't even supposed to be at the event, and I can understand why he doesn't want her at events because she literally just walked in and started spazzing out, and I'm just like, you can't come to events and act like that every single time some shit happens. Like, she needs to know when and where to act that way, and clearly she doesn't know that. Now, she confronts him about a woman named Jada who has been DMing her, telling her that Fresher owes her money, and he claims that Jada is just a female artist that he used to work with and they don't work together anymore and that there was nothing between them. But she clearly doesn't believe him. She clearly doesn't trust him, which, again, I don't understand why she's still with him if she doesn't trust him and he's cheated on her this much that there's no trust there at all. But she tells him that he can't move back into the house, okay, because she feels like he's still lying and he needs to get his shit together. And she wants to figure out the situation with Jada because she wants to know why this girl keeps DMing her, and she doesn't believe that it's just about $60,000 that this girl's claiming that he owes her. Safari and Rich end up meeting up at the gym. Now, last year, him and Rich got into it really badly, and the two of them fell out. Rich and him ended up making amends at Janaski's event, and when he tried to shake Erica's hand and make amends with her, she ignored his hand and literally looked the other way, which he needs to just accept the fact that Erica's just never going to like him, and he needs to just get over it and move on with his life. Now, he met up with Safari to apologize one-on-one because he didn't want Safari to think that his apology wasn't sincere, that he was only apologizing because there was a group of people around. And so I do think that was big of Rich to, meet up with him outside of a group and apologize to him. Now, Safari ends up accepting his apology, but he lets Rich know that Erica is not having it with him. Erica doesn't want anything to do with him, and that because of Erica and Rich's history that they have together, Erica is probably never going to let go of her issues with him. Now, Rich asks if Erica even knew about him meeting up with him, and obviously Safari did not tell Erica that he was meeting up with Rich because that wouldn't have went well, which I feel like Safari digs his own graves when it comes to Erica, because it's like she just told you to stop not telling her about things like that, and he's doing it again. So honestly, when she finds out about this, it's literally not gonna be good. Yandy ends up meeting with Mendice's mom, Judy. Now, Judy and Yandy have had issues with each other in the past, but the two of them have been able to put that stuff aside. Obviously, they're still going to have some type of issues with each other every once in a while because mother-in-laws, they could be a pain sometimes, but it's good that they were able to come together with Mendice's being locked up. Now, she tells Judy that Mendice said that he should be coming home any day now, and obviously Judy's happy because her and Mendice's have a very close relationship with one another, but she's feeling some type of way now about Yandy because Yandy said that she found out that because Mendice is a convicted felon, he may not be able to live under the same roof as the foster child that she took into her home. And so Judy feels some type of way about that because she's happy her son's going to be coming home, but she's worried about where he's going to end up at because she doesn't know what decision Yandy's going to end up making when he comes home, if it comes down to her picking between, her foster child and Mendice. So I'm interested to see what ends up going down with this whole situation. So hopefully they let us know either in the next episode or at some point throughout this season. So Jen ends up meeting up with the girl Jada, and I know that it's not going to go well because Jen goes off all the friggin' time. So it's like they're not even going to be able to have any type of conversation with one another because Jen's going to end up going off like a rocket. Now, she wants to know why Jada keeps DMing her, which I don't know why, the girl keeps DMing her for anyway. I agree with Jen when Jen said that, the girl should have got a lawyer and sued Fresher rather than keep DMing her about the situation because she feels like it's odd that Jada waited a whole year before trying to, get this money that Fresher owes her, which is definitely true. But the girl was saying that she has proof of what she's saying and that Fresher was supposed to be using the money for her and her career that she was giving him, but he was using it for himself. She even said that after she gave Fresher some money, Fresher's girlfriend, obviously Jen, got her body done, so she believes that she funded that, which most likely she probably did because this is not above Fresher to do, which obviously, he's shown who he is throughout this season. Now, Jen wants to know why Jada has been contacting her, and Jada says that the reason why she's been contacting her is because she needs to know what type of man she has. And Jen goes at her and says, I know what type of man I have. And it's like, girl, if you know what type of man you have, you would have been left him because you already said that he's cheated on you multiple times and lies to you continuously, yet you've still stayed with him all these years, and now you feel like you have to fight every woman he works with or any woman he's around because you don't trust him because he's a liar and a cheater. Now, Jen doesn't believe that Jada is owed any money because obviously she waited a year to try to do something about it, but I believe the girl Jada. I believe he does owe her some type of money. I don't know if he does owe her $60K, but Janaski obviously made a good decision in not working with him because this girl's coming out saying that he's basically a fraud. Now, Jen goes off, okay, and says that Jada is jealous of her and wants to be her because Jada was telling her that he said that he loved her in messages, kept calling her constantly, and even sent her flowers. Now, I don't understand why Jen would think anybody wants to be her because who would want to be with a man who lies and cheats on them 24/7 and you got to be fighting everybody every other day because of it? Like, no, I don't believe the girl's jealous of her. Now, she's mad at, she doesn't know who she's mad at more, the girl Jada or Fresha. And I'm like, girl, you need to be mad at Fresha, because Fresha's the one who's with you, and if he wasn't doing the things he was doing, these situations wouldn't even be brought to your attention at all. Like, you wouldn't be in these situations if you weren't with him and if it wasn't for him. So she needs to take that anger and direct that shit at him. Now, she believes that Fresha is lying, so she does believe the girl, that the girl's telling some type of truth, because she said that she knew that Fresha was lying to her once again. So I'm interested to see what happens when her and Fresha end up talking about this little meetup she had with Jada. So it's the night of Erica and Safari's bachelorette party that they're having under the same roof but separated into different rooms. Now, the girls are having a lot of fun, okay? They are partying it up. They got strippers there. They got a male and a female stripper, because obviously Erica is openly bisexual. So they were having a good ass time over there. Meanwhile, the guys were just standing around talking and smoking, and it looked like boring as hell. Like, I knew that Erica's party was going to be better than his. It was really boring, but Erica was probably actually happy that Safari's party was so boring, because now she knows that he didn't do anything inappropriate at the party. Rich ended up showing up because Safari ended up inviting him, and he even said that the party was boring, okay? Now, the guys are standing around talking, smoking, and someone ends up telling Erica that they saw Rich in Safari's party, and now she's pissed off and mad that, one, he didn't tell her that Rich was coming, and two, she has issues with Rich, so she doesn't understand why Safari would invite him, because she feels like that's some type of betrayal, which I agree with her. I honestly believe that he should not have invited Rich to the party because of the history between Rich and Erica. I think that it was cool that him and Rich were able to make amends with one another and apologize, but I do believe that Erica is right in the sense that he should not have been invited to his bachelor party. Now, the girls bust into Safari's party and try to kick Rich out and tell him that he's wrong for even inviting him there, and he tells them that they need to mind their business, and he didn't like the way that the woman stormed into his party and tried to ruin it and try to dictate who he has at the party, because he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong by inviting Rich. Erica ends up busting into his party, and she's pissed off. She's going off on Safari and telling him that he needs to not be disrespectful to her friends and being rude to them. But the way that they busted into his party, I feel like was unnecessary, because I feel like the girls busting into his party like that made it even more of a bigger situation than it even needed to be. Now, Rich realizes that Erica's mad, and so Safari tells Rich, that he should probably leave because Erica's not happy. And Rich leaves willingly, so I feel like it shouldn't have turned into something as huge as it ended up turning into. They end up going into the bathroom at their bachelor and bachelorette party and argue about Rich being there, and she feels like he has no respect for her for inviting him, which I can definitely understand where she's coming from with that, because I don't even know why he would even want Rich there, knowing the history between Erica and Rich. But I do feel like she's blowing it a little bit more out of proportion than it needed to be. But I feel like he keeps digging his own grave with her, because she keeps telling him to stop doing things like inviting people to stuff without her knowledge. And he keeps doing it anyway. And so he keeps repeating things that get them into arguments with one another. Now, he's telling her to calm down and stop being so loud because she's yelling at him. And he's trying to calm her down, but she really doesn't want to talk to him. She wants nothing to do with him. She told him that he doesn't even know how to be loyal. And so that pissed him off. So he walked away, because he feels like now she's disrespecting him. And their wedding is literally, I think he said it was 24 hours away from their bachelor and bachelorette party. And he felt like everything was just crumbling. She starts crying, so the girls go over to her to start comforting her, and Remy tries to explain to Joe and Papoose why Erica's mad, but they tell her that Safari had Rich leave as soon as he realized that Erica was upset, so she needs to acknowledge that. She should acknowledge the fact that he did have Rich leave, but at the same time, Safari needs to realize why Erica's mad about it, because they do have a bad history with one another. So I just feel like it got really messy really quick. Safari gets pissed off and mad, so he leaves his own bachelor party, and I just don't think things are going to go well for the two of them. The episode cut there. Boy, was it a lot of drama in this one friggin' episode. I think that there was some progress made in this episode between Erica and Sin, between Yandy and Judy finding out that Mendices is going to be getting out of prison soon. I'm interested to see what decision Yandy ends up making, if it comes down to choosing between Mendices living in the house or the foster child that she just took in living in the house. I'm also interested to see what happens leading up to Safari and Erica's wedding, because he said that it was 24 hours away from their bachelor and bachelorette party, and that didn't end so well. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me, and thank you to all my subscribers for the support. I appreciate you all so very much, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.